YouTube, and welcome to this edition of Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey, and as always, I appreciate you guys joining us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers now. I really appreciate it. Well, I am getting close to getting over this COVID situation. This is my second time I've had COVID in the last year and a half, and this was pretty tough. I had a real bad head cold and sore throat and lots of drains and stuff. But it wasn't as bad as it was the first time when I lost my taste and smell for almost a month. That was difficult to deal with. But anyway, enough of that. We're back on the mend. Appreciate all the nice comments in the previous videos. Well, speaking of previous videos, you saw that we were able to get Ryan's new carburetor on his late model and got the radiator hose built for it. So today, we're actually going to move some stuff around here in the shop. I need to get the Buick off of the lift so we can get Ryan's late model in there. He's got some items he needs to do to it. He's going to get the shocks and all back on it and get it basically back in race-ready condition. So, fasten your seat belts. Let's see what we can get done. Welcome back. Ryan was able to get his late model finished up and back in race trim and down off the lift. So I decided instead of putting a Buick on the lift, I would get my 88 car, put it up here. We need to make some adjustments to the battery. When they made these COT cars, for some reason, they made a very small battery box, and they used to run these two small batteries in tandem. And I'll have to show you our series, whatever. But anyway, I don't know why they elected to do that, but I will show you here again in a second. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if we can go to an Optima battery. You just can't beat those things. I'm a big fan of Optima batteries, so we're going to take out this little small battery because I've had a couple of instances at the track where this thing will, if it gets hot, it won't turn over. And I was only running one of those small batteries. So anyway, let me show you what we got here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the battery box in the 88 car, as you can see. And what I was talking about, whenever they designed these cars, they did a lot of changes. And all that was in the eyes of safety. I know this car, the drivers moved in almost 6 inches, but for some reason, they made a smaller battery box, and they went to this little bitty cheesy battery right here. I bought one. But my understanding is that the teams in the day were running two of these back to back or in a series, and they were actually stacked up on top of each other. Well, I wouldn't pick me up an Optima battery. I love these Optima batteries. And obviously you can see the size difference. The only way to get this in here is it's going to stand up on its edge, and obviously it cannot move. And it's going to have to be in a position where I want to try to use these side posts here, mounts, instead of the top. I went and bought a couple of these marine type connectors. I don't like using those, but I'm going to try to use these as we can. But you can't have where these ground out against the frame. So this car, as being a road racing car, it's had a lot of pressure left to right. So this battery has got to be in here permanent. So anyway, let's see if we can get this thing stood up in here and try to figure out if there's any way to, how the best way to turn it, and if there's any way to get it secured. So we'll come up with something. I just don't know what it's going to be just yet. Okay, what I'm thinking about doing is see if we can notch this and spot weld a new piece in here and turn that battery sideways. So see, that's the way to fix this correctly. So let me do a little measuring here, so we come up with. Well, I have made a decision. We're going to build us a new battery box. This is the way to do this. And, you know, it's a super nice car, so we need to keep it nice. So we're going to cut this off here. What I'm going to do, we're actually going to bend it on this lip here. And I'm going to cut it here. What they'll do, they'll give us a 2-inch lip to be able to weld to. Since we've already got a wall there, this won't be too bad to build. Okay, we got that cut out, and we'll see what we're going to do to build it back here. Okay, you can see now kind of what the game plan is. This line up here, we're going to fold this up and then loop this around. Got to smooth all this out down here, but then we'll just put a new wall out here to connect this on the bottom and on the top when we bend this piece out here, and that should be pretty good. So let's see if we can get this bent, hopefully straight. Oh yeah, really nice 90 there. I tell you, real simple tool for you building your own shop, and sure makes bending stuff like this really nice that you can't get into, or something that's already mounted somewhere on the car, or something you need to get in and bend. Okay, just for the record, I went back and actually cut this off. We just did the same thing we did a while ago that I'd already shown you. I went and raised this up a little bit, just give me a little more room and clearance, because there's no need to make it anything tighter than it needs to be. So I went ahead and took us up another about 1.5 inches. So now, see if we can find some steel. Like I say, we're just going to bend a 90 here, come up, tie it into this, and tack it up there. So 8 inches. So somebody come up with a piece of steel here. We should have plenty left over from all the work we've done on the Buick. Okay, we'll see if this will fit. That's what we ended up with. Technically, this should go in there, so we'll see if I measured right. Well, guys, I am very pleased how this turned out. We got it perfectly square now, and see, we've got a lip here to be able to put our inserts in so we can bolt the cover back in. I've already got one insert over, so we'll put 2 over here. That'll be 3, and that'll be plenty to keep the cover on. That's just freaking fantastic. So, I think we're going to call it quits at this point. All right, we got everything ground and cleaned up and ready to weld it. Got this all cleaned up inside here, so let's see if we can put a little juice to it. All right, I think that's got that in there pretty good. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trim out this interior piece. That'll go back in there for a crush panel, they're called. So let's see if we can get this trimmed out and hopefully get it where it'll fit in there real tight. All right, we got everything welded in, everything's cleaned up. I drilled a couple of holes out here in the bottom just to keep some sediment from basically having a place for it to fall out, because you're still gonna get some grit and stuff in there. We've got this panel here cut out, got a lip on it there on the bottom. That's gonna fit in to block off that corner down there. So let's keep on moving forward here. All right, man, that looks pretty slick. We still have to put rivets up here at the top, rivets across the bottom. And we'll come back now. After that, we'll put our inserts in there for our 1/4 inch bolts. Man, that is gonna look really, really nice. Very pleased. All right, we got this crush panel installed. Man, that is just tight as a drum. Now we'll make our cover for our battery box, and then we will try to come up with some type of battery hold down, which we just did on the Buick, so it shouldn't be an issue. We're probably gonna copy the same design. So let's see if we can get something laid out here on the cover. Okay, we got our piece cut out. I put a stiffening lip on the bottom, and now we'll locate where we want to put our inserts to bolt it in. That's going to really look nice. All right. Okay, we got our hole marked here now where it needs to go into the frame of the battery box. Got my cute little tool we're going to use here, my insert tool. Try to drill this out here real quick, and we use our impact wrench to pull them through. All right, we got 2 bolt holes located. I'm gonna put probably 1 more up here at the top, and I think that'll be actually strong enough to hold them. Put 1 up here in the center, and well, not in the center, but where this flange drops down. And then we will pull the plastic off. Then we'll have to install the battery and see if we can get a hold down then bent up. All right, guys, wonderful. Okay, we got the battery hold down fabricated, and it's just like we did earlier in the Buick, same thing. So if you want to go back and look a couple videos back, you'll see how we make these battery tie downs, but got to put a shorter bolt on this. But anyway, everything is secure. Now what I'll do is just figure out which one's positive, which one's negative, hook them up, and put a little rubber on the bottom, and we will be good to go. Okay, this is what we ended up with. We got our battery cables connected. We got our battery hold down in place. Got it covered up with rubber here. So let's get the cover on here and see if we can get this puppy cranked up. Okay, let's see if this thing will crank. Well, that wraps up another exciting episode here. I appreciate all you guys watching as always. And man, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm thankful for that. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and hit that like button. Tell your friends and neighbors about the channel as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. God bless you. You take care.